Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Democrats moving to block Trump from appointing additional judges. There was a once bipartisan effort to expand the number of federal judges. The legislation, known as the Judges Act, would create more than 60 new federal judgeships over the next decade. 22 of those would be created during Trump's term. Just as a quick aside, Judges is an acronym in the Act. It stands for Judicial Understaffing Delays Getting Emergencies Solved. What we really need is legislation that would stop people in Congress from using acronyms. Anyway, back to the news. The idea of Trump appointing an additional 22 judges is a bit more than they can bear. So, they're mounting a last-minute effort to stop the legislation in the House. Last night, House Minority Whip Katherine Clark's office started spearheading the effort to reject the bill. A message went out to Democrats in the House asking them to vote against it, even though some have been in favor of it in the past. The message reminded representatives that the legislation would create a, quote, significant number of new empty judgeships. The message went on to encourage Democrats to really consider what that means for the judiciary in the future. Representative Nadler of New York, who is on the Judiciary Committee, said, quote, Donald Trump has made clear he intends to expand presidential power, and this bill hands him another tool to do so. Now, this sounds like some incredibly partisan behavior in the House from the Democratic Party, and it's openly based on concerns about Trump's potential selections. But Republicans in the House don't get off the hook on this one either. This legislation passed in the Senate unanimously way back in August. Republicans in the House didn't bring it up until after the election. While House Republicans say they were just too busy to get around to it, it seems pretty clear that had Biden won the election, they wouldn't have brought it up at all. So what happens? There are a couple of different paths, but they all end in the same place. The Democratic Party in the House could be successful in stopping the legislation from moving forward in the House, in which case the bill dies. If the votes are there and it passes, it then goes to Biden to get signed. Biden has promised to veto the legislation. In a statement, the White House said, quote, the Senate passed this bill in August, but the House refused to take it up until after the election. Hastily adding judges with just a few weeks left in the 118th Congress could fail to resolve key questions in the legislation, especially regarding how the judges are allocated. If the president were presented with S 4199, he would veto it. If Biden were to veto the bill, it seems incredibly unlikely that there would be votes to override the veto. And that's not where the story really ends. Nobody on either side of the aisle is going to argue against this legislation based on the content. So it's likely to come back with the new Congress, and it would be up to Democratic senators to defeat the bill. However, given the Senate's role in confirming judges, it might be hard to muster the votes to stop it next year. Either way, you'll hear about this again. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.